Hey everyone, we are talking about the earning release of Nio today and some concerns we had with the chip shortage and the competitiveness of Nio. But first of all, welcome to High School Dropout's advice. If you need subtitles, click on the subtitle button right here. Through Patreon, you can get into our Discord community where you can get directly in touch with me and other subscribers. We see that we have gained about 2% today. We are trading for a more extended time at this level now, which is not bad. Other growth stocks have lost more than Nio. Let us get straight into the earning release. We can see that the delivery numbers have increased in the last 4 quarters. The Q1 2020 was the beginning of the pandemic and the lockdown. So this is why we see this plump in delivery numbers compared to Q4. Important for us to note that it's still growing well compared to Q4 2020. Usually Q1 is the weakest quarter of car delivery. The financial highlights is that Q1 has an increase of 20% in revenue compared to Q4 2020. The vehicle margin has jumped up to high as 21.2% from 17.2% in 2020. The gross profit has increased 36% from the fourth quarter. You might notice that I compared most of the numbers with the fourth quarter of 2020 because quarter 1 of 2020 is not a good indicator to measure growth because of the lockdown last year. The loss from operation also decreased by 68.2% comparing with Q4 2020. If we exclude the share-based compensation expenses, the adjusted loss from operation was $30.4 million in the first quarter of 2021, representing a decrease of 87% from the first quarter of 2020 and a decrease of 77.1% from the fourth quarter of 2020. The net loss was $68.8 million, also decreased 73.3% compared to Q1, but more importantly, represent a decrease of 67.5% from the fourth quarter of 2020. Excluding share-based compensation expenses, this decreased 73.3% from the fourth quarter of 2020. These are overall numbers going in the right direction. We had a record quarter with 20,060 vehicle deliveries. But why is the stock not moving up more? Let me show you the problems we are facing. The CEO William Li says we expect to deliver 21,000 to 22,000 in the second quarter of 2021. This is what keeps many traders and trend hunters away. We all know that we have a shortage of semiconductors, and I will get back to this topic a little later and tell you what William Li's answer is to this problem. In April, the Power Swap Stations 2.0 launched and shortened the battery swapping time to under 3 minutes. Another gigantic development is that Nio has ensured sufficient production capacity with their partners with the new plant in Xinjiao Industrial Park in Hefei. The plant is also called Nio Park, which is spelled N-E-O and not N-I-O. The plant should be able to handle a capacity of 1 million cars and will contain research and development centers, battery manufacturers, and so much more. Besides the good news, the outlook is the problem what keeps the stock down. The total revenue in Q2 is expected only to increase approximately 2.1 to 6.5%. I personally think that Nio is underpromising here. Nio is giving conservative estimates in their outlooks. We also should pay attention to their current cash position, which is at around 4.3 billion US dollar, and their asset position did increase from last quarter from 46 billion RMB to 52 billion RMB. If you want to buy stocks and need a brokerage account, or you want a second brokerage account, I can recommend you Webull. You would get 4 free stocks up to 1850 per stock when you deposit at least $100. I think the lowest amount I got from the free stocks was $3 per stock, so that you would get at least around $12. The advantage Webull has is that you can trade before and in the aftermarkets, which helps you to be one step ahead of other investors. You can also buy fractional shares of big companies, which is another big advantage. At the conference call, we had some interesting questions, and I want to show you what CEO William Li answered. At the conference call, William Li got asked how competitive Nio is, because at the Shanghai Motor Show recently, there were many competitors with exciting models. William Li answered, okay, in terms of the overall competitiveness, Nio is still quite confident in our specific market segments. In the premium market, we haven't seen any brand with this kind of competitiveness yet. In terms of the product, the service, technology, user experience and user community. We had this question and answered on several occasions during the conference, and William Li indeed is very confident and is the opinion that there is no premium EV on the market or coming to the market which would rival Nio. Even traditional brands with premium EV options like Mercedes, Audi, Porsche and BMW are not making CEO William Li worried. This is what he said. I believe they are still lagging behind in terms of the digital experience and the autonomous driving capabilities. He has also the opinion that it's not a winner takes all market and there is enough room for every car maker out there as long as they have no obvious weakness. I think this is very important point, which I totally agree with him. As long as a company is not making a major mistake, they will all grow, because at the moment the EVs sold are only 10% of the cars sold in China. So there's a lot of room for the EVs to penetrate the market shares. Another interesting question was if Nio would focus on semiconductors, so they don't need to depend on Nvidia and other chip manufacturers. CEO William Li answered, at this moment we do not have any specific plans that we can disclose to the public or share with the public, but I believe it's quite obvious to everyone that Nio has always been very decisive in investing in the research and development of new technologies. We are determined to build our full stack capabilities surrounding the smart electric vehicle technologies, including autonomous driving, and we believe that this is going to build the long-term competitiveness of the company. I think that this indirect answer is hinting that they will work on something to be independent in the future. We can agree that the future will need more semiconductors than ever. Another question we had was regarding the drop in research and development costs in Q1. But William Li assured that the costs would go up and the year-over-year comparison will show that the research and development will be higher compared to last year. The fact that the ET7 has to be released next year will require a lot more research and development. So overall, the semiconductor issue, which is most likely the reason for the conservative business outlook, is a short-term problem which also affects all the other competitors. So from that standpoint, it does not change anything for the long-term outlook of Nio as a great company. I have nearly 1000 shares of Nio, and there was no reason for me to sell any of my position based on this earning release. We have two analysts giving a price target at around $60, which aligns with the price target I had for Nio after Q4 2020. Overall, everything is good. I will hold the stock for the next 20 years, and this will be part of my retirement funds. Anyways, for legal reasons, let me tell you that I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just a guy on YouTube. Please remember that your money is your responsibility, so always do your due diligence. Thank you so much, and see you hopefully in the next video. Thank you, bye.